So big head here. Um, so so failure is first step to success. Somebody has said that, and yeah, I failed the most common system design question that is ever asked. Design a URL shortener, and I I knew I had watched few videos on URL shortener, but um, somehow it was not enough for that interviewer. So, so yeah, it was bad and it was experience. So I came across this resource, and I think this is a better way to approach this system design. So I will paste this resource in the description. But in this video, I'm going to go through it. I'm trying to understand it for myself, and in same way you can understand it. And if you ever get asked this question, then um, you you are fine then, right? So let's go. So basically, this is the um, statement. Sometimes it says design.bitly or pastebin.com or URL shortener, anything, but the the main question is same. You give a long URL and you have to return a short URL of that long URL. So yeah, so let's uh, so here there is a template, right? And actually this is, I think, a correct way to approach this. So the template, like let's say the step one is outline use cases and constraints. So what I know now is directly with the just st um, what I actually did was started assuming things on my own. But what should I do here is start asking questions. So let's see um, how this resource tells about it. So yeah, so these are the main important things. User enters a block of text or a long URL and gets randomly generated short URL. So you should ask, is the expiration date, or how much, for how long do you want to keep the URLs in the database? Um, yeah. Then can user be logged in, or he doesn't have to be? We just keep track of every URL. Um, this this was not actually expected in my interview. The interview was just to uh, design a URL, just paste the URL, get short URL. So this is something we can ask. Do you want to have some analytics on it? Do you want to delete expired links, or uh, or these things? Yeah, and these are the out of scope as per this guide. Verify email, edit document visibility, etc., etc. Yeah, and yeah, this how I don't know, man. I'm not sure I could, without seeing this question in detail, I would not have come with this users, how many users, how many writes, how many reads. So if you don't know, maybe just ask, or I don't know how to go about it. Maybe next time I fail another interview, I will search that and then I will keep that in mind. Who knows? Let's see. This part, I am pretty sure I I'm not that much experienced that I can calculate it. And do you really think this should be expected? I don't know. I don't know really, but I think it should be. But yeah, this is again a big thing. I did not think even about calculating how much data is needed and how much see this 36 million short links in 3 years. How can I come up with this if I don't know anything? How ah man, looking at this somehow makes me feel that am I even an engineer? Should I be even in tech industry? Really, don't know. But let's see how it goes. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, first thing, you got an idea. So you don't have to go in details about this. At least I would not go anywhere in details. I would just say now I know that I will just ask questions. How many users do you think you have? Um, what what is the main requirement? It should get a long URL. It should give a short URL. That's it. Ask few questions and move ahead. So the second step is create a high level design. So how the system would look, that's what is a high level design. So this part is simple. This thing I was able to figure it out, but I did not have two separate APIs and not analytics as it was not required. I just had one single API. I think that was a mistake, and I designed a SQL server database, and I did not have object store. So let's see what it is. So let's go as per this diagram. So we have a client, then we have a web server. So it will decide it is a read API, then send it here, write API, send it here, and both read and write go to database, and only read goes to object store. And I'm not going to think about analytics for now. So uh, so that's the basic design. I think that's good enough. Um, yeah, there is also one more thing that you need to scale this, but you should always come to scaling part at the end. So let's follow this template and let's see what it does. Okay, user enters block of text, get randomly generated link. Okay, so we decided to use SQL, but now the thing is you should explain why you are making these choices, why you are making two separate APIs, why you are making your database as SQL database and yeah, see, alternative to relational database acting as large. So you can use this trade-offs between this. Uh, so you should talk through it, right? And in my case, what happened is I initially said let's have a SQL database, and he asked me to tell me the trade-offs, my interviewer, and I started telling them that um, yeah, I'm blank again. So trade-off, what was it? So in NoSQL, it is key value. As we are using just a short a short URL to long URL index, we can use NoSQL database. But initially, I designed it as a SQL database, and when he asked me trade-offs, I just said that okay, NoSQL makes sense. So that happened. Now going further, what this section is saying is uh, so this guy is explaining what is the architecture, and honestly, I'm not sure what many of these things are uh, to the web server running as a reverse proxy. Sorry. So I am not sure what reverse proxy is yet, but I will get to know, and I think I will when I will read it, understand it, I will make a video about it. A web server forwards the request to write API server. Yeah, yeah, here, and then write API server does the following: generate a unique URL, check if the unique, yeah. So it generates the URL. It should check if it is already there, already present. If not, only then it should send it back. If it is present, then it should generate another URL, and it should save to the database. And yeah, so and now this is the database schema: short link, character 7, not null, expiration length, not null. This could be a NoSQL as well. Okay, so now to make it fast in SQL there is something called as indexing. So indexing is like hash key. You know the hash table, right? Hash map. The hash key and hash value. So if you make any column as an index, it will act as a hash key, or maybe um, yeah. So it basically makes the uh, retrieval or accessing the data really fast. So short link is an index, and this guy says you can have a additional index on created at to look up to speed up the lookups. So if you want to check URLs between today or something like that, this makes it really fast because we have another index on created date time maybe. Yeah. Uh, so I want to tell you one more thing, that in system design there are two things: um, breadth oriented and depth oriented. So what breadth oriented system design means, you have multiple services. Now here there are only two, read and write, but there can be 10 services. So in that case you need to talk briefly about few and then go in deep about one or two. But in this case there is only one or two APIs, right? Read and write. And in that case the interviewer mostly expects, sorry, uh, so he wants you to also come up with an algorithm so that the API is fast enough. So in my case as well, he asked me to design an algorithm. So somehow, without knowing, or with some previous knowledge or previous video, I came up with uh, similar algorithm. So I said, once I get a long URL, I will hash it. So he asked me what kind of a hashing function you will use. I said SHA 256, but I think this one is good, MD5. Then I actually said that so this gives me some random string, and I will then convert it to base 64. So I stopped my algorithm there, but there is some. So he was trying to he tried me to go further. So this is still not a good solution. Can you think a better algorithm? Can you come up with that? He gave me 5-10 minutes, but yeah, I didn't knew it and I did not come up with the algorithm. So instead of base 64, we should use base 62. So what is base 62? Let me tell you that this I know. So base 62 means there are only alphanumeric characters. So 26 alphabets from A to Z in caps, 26 alphabets in A to Z, small caps, and then 0 to 9 digits, that is 10 more characters. So if you add that 26 plus 26 plus 10, it gives you 52 plus 10, that is 62. So base you should encode the MD5 hash into base 62 encoding. So it gives you the values, right? Which work well for URLs, eliminating the need for escaping characters. There is only one hash result of original input, and base 62 is deterministic. So I'm not sure what this is. Base 64 is another popular. So this I used, but there are plus and slash characters, right? So this makes some little bit more complicated. Uh, so following base 62, pseudocode runs in O of k time, where k is the number of digits is equal to 7. Now this is the algorithm. I didn't understand how it comes to 7 digits. Uh, so um, not sure. But yeah, I think coming up with this is good enough, at least base 62 and MD5, right? And it gives you 7 characters, that's it. Yeah, so you save that as a unique short URL. Hmm. I did not know these things, so I did not talk about them, and I did not talk about this as well. Read, uh, yeah. So one more thing the interviewer asked me was, is this system a read intensive or write intensive? So obviously it was read intensive because you will create one URL and you will send it to 10, 15, 100 friends and they will click on it, right? Most of the time. So it's right a read intensive. Hmm. This is analytics thing, so we'll not go into that. Now the part comes about scaling the system. So for scaling, you add load balancers. You will have multiple web servers, so load balancers will route to them, and these will route to instances of your microservice. So multiple write API microservices, read API microservices, and this server routes them. So basically, you have replicas of each of these. Okay. I think this much is good enough. Scaling is again a big thing, and I'm a noob here, right? So I'm just going through this document. I have already gone through it once, but still I'm not clear on many things. So yeah, I'm going to put this resource in the description, so you can take a look, and you can just click on this and go to that part. So it's really helpful. Um, I'm glad that I was able to find this. I also there is a caching thing, but yeah, I talked about it in my interview, but he was not impressed. Um, okay, so that's it. Um, Bye. Always blue.